All right, welcome back. Episode 46 of the Project U podcast. We're hitting in on 50 episodes. I think we're already over 50 episodes, but I was not counting the Tuesday tactics that I was doing during the summer months. But first off, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's joining me on the weekly sessions. I've been doing some live webinar and more conversations than anything on a weekly basis. We talk about sleep, metabolism, supplements, stress management, how genetics and nutrition affect longevity, body habitus, weight loss, physical performance, all those things, just a variety of different topics on a weekly basis. I'd love for you to join me on this week's coming session. You can sign up on the blog at mitchellmd.com. Just see it on the right sidebar. You can either pick if you want to join the sleep session or if you want to do the men's health, but don't let the men's health scare you away. Ladies, interesting, there's about 50% of the people that show up are female for the men's health sessions, and in the men's health course, there's about 25% females in that community, which is now well over 3,500 people. But besides that, let's just jump right into today's episode. I'm going to keep this short, and I'm going to share with you the 5 cocktails that I consider essential for life. And this might stir up some controversy and some hate mail, and that's fine. Not everybody has to agree with everything that I certainly say, but there's room for discussion. So let's jump into the first thing that I start every day with on a consistent basis when I'm at home, and that is apple cider vinegar and water. And the reason being is that if I can start my day by shifting the pH balance in my body just slightly to the alkaline, then everything goes better. The majority of things that we put into our bodies and that we do to ourselves during the day are inflammatory and tend to be more acidic. So if I can start the day with a needle shifted just to the right in the alkaline phase, then I think that's definitely worth the, some might say, sacrifice. My wife certainly does. She tried it for a year and gave up, and now she does something that I think is a little bit even less palatable, which is lemon, hot water, cayenne pepper, and I think cinnamon. I'm not sure what all she puts in there, but I've tried it once, and oh man, it was tough. But anyways, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and some water. I use filtered water. It's a little bit cooler than room temperature, and I just guzzle it down quickly and to get on with my day. The second is green tea, and I'm either going to consume this in a beverage form, which I love the ritual of tea making, or if I'm not at home, or if I don't feel like tea, I'll take it in a capsule form. And the reason being is that this data goes back thousands of years from Chinese medicine. But the thing about green tea is there's a substance in there that's anti-inflammatory, it's an antioxidant. There's also some data from research on Chinese men who consume green tea on a daily basis had a much lower chance and risk of stomach cancer. So I don't take it purely just for the cancer part of it, but it also has a metabolism boosting effect, and I like it as an alternative to coffee. I don't generally drink coffee past like 10 or 11 in the morning, and the reason being is I'm a slow metabolizer. If you don't know what that is, I encourage you to check out the previous podcast where I talk about the real risk of metabolism of caffeine, slow versus rapid, and the risk for heart attack of all things from coffee. But anyways, the data's there, the science is there, and I absolutely love green tea. The third is water with lemon, and again, for a similar reason, pH balance. I like to have it in the afternoon. It's sort of a refreshing drink. I don't reach for the energy drinks or the carbonated sodas because those are damaging to the teeth, the bones, the pH, not to mention the harmful effects of all the artificial sweeteners in there, the dysregulation of metabolism and glucose and sugar sensitivity in terms of what you taste and don't taste. And so it's just a simple way to really just keep the afternoon flowing smoothly, keep the creative juices going. I like it as an alternative to an afternoon snack. Caution about sipping on it all day, though. It can be damaging to the enamel on the teeth. And so I have my glass in the afternoon, and I generally wait about 30 minutes and then brush the teeth. The same for carbonated beverages. Generally try to avoid brushing your teeth after consuming. I know that may be counterintuitive, that if you have a soda pop, brush your teeth right away. But really, if you brush your teeth in the first 30 minutes after consuming those drinks, it really has a much more potential to damage the enamel on your teeth, which predisposes to ugly teeth, bad breath, and a visit to your dentist. So the fourth thing actually that I love, and it probably is an acquired taste for some, others just love it right off the bat, but it's kombucha tea. Kombucha tea is a live probiotic tea, and I've talked before about gut health, inflammatory issues, and the whole gut-brain connection. And so this is just a natural way to put some healthy bacteria into your gut, which can help heal the gut. But not only that, it also has some positive mental effects, at least from what I've experienced from it. And it's interesting because this is really going to change the face of mental health and psychiatry in the future. But we know that these little bugs in our gut produce a crap ton, if you will, of hormones. And it's the connection between the gut and the brain where these bacteria are producing the same neurotransmitters like norepinephrine and serotonin that the antidepressant drugs are designed to try and raise. And so if a person could potentially improve those levels by taking something natural without side effects, I think that's pretty fascinating. So I'll be really keen to see what researchers and what standard traditional medicine and psychiatry come up with in terms of treating the gut when handling issues of depression and mental health concerns. So kombucha tea. Oh, and the other thing, the one I'm drinking right now, I'm not going to say the name brand, but anyways, it's got 4 strains of probiotic in there, Bacillus coagulans, and 3 different strains of lactobacillus, a little bit of coconut water, and stevia. So if you're looking for something that's non-high fructose corn, syrup-based, plenty of probiotic drinks use those type of sweeteners, which I absolutely love, and can certainly avoid the dangers of regular sugar or processed high fructose corn syrup. And the last, but not least, is probably the most controversial, and that's totally fine. Some people are going to send some hate mail and some nasty things on Twitter. But red wine, Vino tinto, absolutely love it. The picture of this podcast cover is from my basement. My father and I are into winemaking and been doing that for the last 15 years or so. And it's one of my favorite things when I travel. I love tasting wines from different regions, different parts of the world. Argentina and Chile, 2 of my favorites. Obviously Italian wines. Won't go into the specifics, but the podcast covers from my basement. Just like to have a variety on hand. The link on the blog is probably the only scientific link in this post. The rest of them are just for fun. I realize that none of you want to read a bunch of boring medical dribble research and whatnot, but the last is from the American Heart Association. And of note, I went to the World Congress of Anti-Aging Conference in Las Vegas, I believe in early December. And one of the world-renowned speakers in cardiovascular health, Dr. Mark Houston, was sharing the benefits and the data on red wine consumption. 6 ounces of red wine on a daily basis. It's clear from the Mediterranean diet data that there are some very positive effects there. I'm not advocating anybody to go out and start drinking if they don't drink, or if a person has a problem with alcohol. This is obviously not applying to you, but just consider the potential benefits of red wine if that appeals to you. And so I'm going to keep this episode short and sweet, and thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope to see you on the webinar. Just check out the blog at Mitchell MD, and as always, be safe, be well. We'll talk to you soon. Just a quick attribution, that is a royalty-free song called Broken Shovel, and I don't usually play background music, but my recording microphone is just going crazy, so hope you like it.